Hello everybody, Season 16 has started in Diablo 3 and it is the Season of Grandeur. That means that there is a buff all throughout the season for seasonal characters. Non-seasonal characters don't get it, which is the first time that this has happened so far with the themed seasons, but all seasonal characters get the Ring of Royal Grandeur buff without having to wear the ring. Essentially what that means is that any set that you're using, you don't have to wear the full 6 pieces to get the 6 set bonus or the full 4 pieces to get the 4 set bonus. Instead, you just need to wear 3 or 5 pieces and you'll get all of your set bonuses. That is really nice. It means that there's a lot of really cool builds that can happen between characters because you're not relying on a specific ring slot to be taken up just so that you can have your full 6 or 4 set bonus. Of course, this doesn't work with 2 set bonuses. If you have 1 piece and you have the Ring of Royal Grandeur, it won't give you the second bonus. So, with that said, these are the items that you can get this season. You got the cool portrait frame and some really cool wings. We'll check out the portrait frames first, and then I'll tell you how to go about getting them and how to go about finishing your seasonal journey. So the portrait frames start with the basic one here, and just like all seasons, slowly work their way up. Of course, there are no really awesome additions to this portrait like there were a couple seasons ago with, if I can even find it, this really cool one here that added the spear. And I kind of hope that they would continue doing that, but with this season we see that they have not. On top of that, you get these awesome butterfly wings, which I think look amazing on my barb. And they're cool, you know, it's another cool thing that isn't just a pennant or something, or a pet, so it is nice to have another different kind of reward. So in order to get your set pieces, your free set pieces from your Hadrig's gift, you'll need to finish chapter 2. That'll give you your first 2 pieces. Chapter 3 will give you your second 2 pieces, and chapter 4 will give you your last 3 pieces, depending on how many pieces your set has. So for example, the Barbarian Immortal King set has 7 pieces, so you get the last 3 pieces with the final thing. So there's just a couple things here at the beginning to take note of. It's something that I always tell players, and of course, if you're playing on console and you're jumping into the Switch, obviously you might be new to the game, but you probably don't know a lot of these really cool little tricks that you can do to finish your journey while leveling up. The first thing is that you will need to basically finish all of this stuff, right? This stuff is super easy, but the one thing that probably will be something to do while you're leveling up is to go get Kanai's Cube real quick. Outside of that, if you raise the Blacksmith Jeweler and Mystic to level 12, the easiest way to do that is before you jump into the season, or during the season even, if you would really like to. If you make a seasonal character, then you go to your game settings. Instead of going to adventure mode, you go to challenge rifts and you do the challenge rift for the week. In this case, the Americas just started challenge rift 83. It was 82 last week. Then you will get a bag in the game, which will give you a ton of crafting materials and gold and blood shards. That will give you more than enough stuff to get your crafting dudes up to level 12. So that's a quick little tip. As far as getting the second Hadrig's gift, you will need to finish all of the act whatever bounties. And for finishing these, I would suggest waiting to turn them in. So maybe you're doing rifts and you're level 60 and you're okay, it's level 61, 62, maybe we should go do bounties. That is a really good idea. Go complete all of the bounties, but don't turn them in. As in, you complete each bounty in each act, but don't turn them into Tyrael at the end. Once you hit 70, then you turn them in. The reason why you do this is because each time you turn one of those in at level 70, you're going to be getting crafting recipes, which you will need for the next chapter. So just kind of put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. So outside of that, you're just basically doing stuff that you're going to be doing while leveling up. You're going to be doing Nephilim rifts. You're going to be killing Zoltan Cool. There's several bosses that you'll need to kill, but save your bounties until you hit 70, so that way you can get your crafting materials, because you need to learn 5 blacksmith recipes and 5 jewel crafting recipes, which you will get if you turn in the bounties at level 70. If you turn them in before that, you have a chance of getting some of the recipes, but it's easier just to turn them in at 70, guarantee it, and then you have this part done. You don't have to do bounties really again for quite some time. Then, of course, you have your Reach Greater Rift level 20 solo and kill Cydia, kill Skeleton King, blah, blah, blah. You got to do all the key wardens. Easy peasy. That will get you your set, and that will get you your wings and your portrait frame once you complete Chapter 4. And then that's it. It's a really easy season. And the reason why is because all of the sets, most of the sets, have been buffed in a significant way. So you're going to find that this season is going to be much easier than previous seasons because the amount of damage your characters are going to do it's absurd. So outside of that, if you want to continue on and get the next portrait frames, the key here is leading into the Conquest. I would say this season is easy as far as Conquest, so we'll kind of build up to that. But with this one, there's not really a whole heck of a lot here except needing to do the Uber bosses. So once you kill the key wardens, you get keys. You go to Act 1. There's a little hut that you break open in town there, and then you can use your keys in there and open up a portal. So you could do the Realm of Regret and the Realm of Putridness on Torment 1, but don't do the other two yet because you'll need to do them on the next part of this, the next chapter, on Torment 10. So you may as well just wait and do them all on Torment 10 because you will be able to very quickly after getting your full set. Level 1 gem to 25 and 1 legendary gem to 25 and finish a level 70 Nephilim Rift on Torment 5 or higher. This is all easy. This is when it gets interesting, right? Because you get the you get this next portrait for this one, but you have to finish the 2 Uber realms on Torment 10. So you may as well do that and wait for it. Same thing goes for the Master a Set dungeon. The previous chapter has just do a set dungeon, which if you're using your set, I would suggest just Googling, like, if you're using Immortal Kings, Google Immortal Kings Diablo 3 set dungeon, and you'll be able to find out where it's at. You go and do that. I would suggest mastering it the first time you do it, or just go through and master it because you're going to have to get it for the next chapter anyways. Then there's a couple other easy things here. Greater Rift level 40 solo, which again with the new set buffs are going to be easy. Convert a set item with Kanai's Cube. This is like basic stuff. Where it starts getting kind of nifty on how you can mess with the conquest that you're already doing is waiting for a couple things. First of which is for this one, for Guardian, you're going to need to level 3 gems to level 70. And in order to get the one before it on Conqueror, it wants you to use Kanai's Cube to augment an ancient legendary item with a level 50 plus gem, which destroys the legendary gem and puts main stat on your whatever ancient item you have. So my suggestion is to get your 3 gems to 70. If you want to finish as quickly as possible, get 3 gems to 70 and then use one of those gems for this one. And the way that'll work is you'll still get credit on Guardian for the 3 gems, but you won't have this until you get the 3 gems and then use the augment using Kanai's Cube. So that is a nifty little trick, and I suggest doing it every season. And then there's a couple other things that you have to do here. You have to complete 1 conquest for Destroyer. You have to complete 2 conquests for Conqueror and 3 for Guardian. We'll get to that in a second. But for Conqueror, you have to kill Asmodan at level 70 in under 30 seconds on Torment 13. That is pretty quick and easy, and you can, if you're having an issue with that, you can go jump into a public game and ask for somebody to help. They should be able to help you. But with Guardian, you have to do something similar. You have to kill Azul at level 70 in under 10 seconds on Torment 13. That is a little easier than it sounds because once you get to him, the timer starts, but it's just a matter of having the damage to blow him up. Once you have your full set bonus, your full build going, you should be able to do this solo with very little problem. The final thing that is kind of something that may catch players off guard is reaching Greater Rift level 70 solo. For players that don't typically do that, or players new to the game, that sounds like a really high Greater Rift. But again, once you get your full build up and running, it's very, very easy. So real quick, we're going to jump in. Keep this one in mind, the finish level 70 Nephilim Rift on Torment 13 difficulty within 4 minutes. Keep that in mind because we're going to jump into our conquest for the season. I think they're rather easy this season, so it should be one of those seasons that you can complete quicker than most. The first thing is Complete a Nephilim Rift at max level on Torment 10, not Torment 13, but Torment 10, under 2 minutes. That takes a bit of fishing for rifts. If you find a really large open rift and you have a really fast build that kind of one-shots everything, you'll be able to do this no problem. It's just a matter of finding the right rift. For me, I bust out a stopwatch on my phone, and I time each rift, and I kind of see how close or how far away I am. If you're having issues with this, just join a Torment 10 game or even a Torment 13 game later on in the season, and people will be flying through these. You'll be able to get that. The other one that I find is really easy is level 3 gems to 65, because you're already going to be leveling 3 gems to 70 to get the final portrait frame, so you may as well get the 3 gems to 65 one. It's easy. It's going to happen along the way. Now, you have a couple options for your final conquest. For me, I think boss mode is really easy. You kill all of the bosses on Torment 10 or higher within 20 minutes of the start of the game. I have a guide for this, and I will put a link to it, but essentially it just means that you are going to be starting the game and going to each boss as quickly as possible and killing them, and you have to be present for the boss kill. If you're doing this with multiple people, my suggestion is have 2 people running, maybe 3 people running to the bosses. When someone gets close, they tell you, hey, I'm about to get to the boss. At that point, if you're running, you need to stop, go back to town, use your town portal. Once you're in town, you accept the boss fight, you kill the boss, then when the boss is dead, you open your map up and you go and click on the town that you want to teleport to. That will keep your town portal active from where it was, and then once you're back in town, you can walk through your town portal, and it will then do it that way. You don't actually hit your town portal button, otherwise it will remove your town portal that you had. That's the idea of it. I find it really easy. We did it within like 15 minutes this season, and we were kind of screwing up and going really slow. So that's a thing. The other thing is curses. That one is pretty easy too, but it requires having the Cursed Pete bounty or event spawn in Act 5. You go and do that, and you just blow a ton of things up on Torment 10. You kill 350 enemies. That one, you have to find the right bounty, and that could take a long time because you're remaking your game constantly until you get the right bounty. I don't suggest doing this one compared to these other 3. They're way easier. Finally, though, you do have Years of War, which is Reach Greater Rift 55 solo with the full bonuses, so 6-piece bonuses of 6 of these sets. For me, I've done 3. I know I've done 1, but I guess I've done a couple of the other ones accidentally. I don't remember running those sets, but hey, I've got it. It's easy. It just requires having 2 characters. So the conquests this season are quick and easy to do unless you're trying to do curses. But outside of that, these ones will happen along the way. And with that, you can get your portrait frame real easy this year. In order to get 2 additional stash tabs on PC, if you don't have them already, you have to complete Conqueror, which is the one second from last. And if you just want the butterfly wings, just complete Chapter 4, get your awesome wings and your awesome portrait frame. And then that's it. This season is definitely going to be a quick season for a lot of people because of the new buffs to the sets and the fact that the Ring of Royal Grandeur is a set or a season-wide buff for all of your seasonal characters. It makes playing and building sets really interesting, but for the most part, I have found that the new set buffs make a lot of really old builds that I used to like enjoyable again, so it's been a fun season for me. Hopefully it will be for you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, but with that being said, we shall